The second time I asked Buddy for another round, he refused. I don't have time for this. Belle agreed to go on a date with me this afternoon. Suppressing my hunger, I placed an order for delivery. But before the delivery guy could arrive, Buddy's aloof roommate walked through the door instead. Suddenly, a barrage of imaginary comments appeared in my mind. LOL, the second lead just saw Liv in a strappy mini dress. His head's probably about to explode, but he's still trying to act all indifferent. Classic awkward puppy vibes in real life. Liv, why don't you take a look at Liam? Every time he hears you cooking with Buddy, the poor guy ends up taking a cold shower. Feel sorry for him, honestly. Liam is athletic, has insane stamina, and is right in front of you. Liv, stop wasting your time on Ethan and his disappointing cucumber. Already catching the keywords in these imaginary captions, I looked at him with sudden excitement. Hey, wanna cook together? The second time I asked Liam for another round, he rejected me outright. He pushed me away, got up, and started putting on his jeans. Standing in front of the mirror, he began styling his hair with gel. I don't have time for this. Belle agreed to a date this afternoon. Oh, and don't call me today, alright? I don't want Belle to misunderstand. Took me ages to win her over. Sitting there wrapped in a blanket, I blinked in confusion. You're going on a date with Belle? Then why did you even call me over? Liam turned to glance at me, letting out a mocking laugh. First date nerves. Didn't want to scare her off, so I needed to, take the edge off with you first. Liv, we've known each other forever. You won't mind, right? I was about to reply when imaginary captions popped up in my mind again. Another one of those stories where the girl gets used and dumped, only for the guy to chase her later. Why do premium subscribers get this nonsense? Can we please stop writing about women throwing themselves at guys? It's insulting, seriously. Serves the girl right for sleeping with Buddy without any commitment. She had it coming. I tilted my head in confusion. What were these strange captions? Since when did succubi like me need commitment to find a partner? Liam and I had grown up together, practically inseparable. When we were 18, he tricked me into tasting the forbidden fruit. After that, I unexpectedly awakened my succubus nature, and now I needed regular relief. I didn't tell anyone about it. Liam and I just silently agreed to be partners. But honestly, for someone over 6 feet tall with a roguishly handsome face, Liam didn't quite live up to expectations. Let's just say he was more bark than bite. Thankfully, he had decent stamina. 3 or 4 rounds per session were enough to barely keep me satisfied. At the moment, watching Liam's lean frame disappear under a black t-shirt, I held back my frustration and said, "Of course I mind this guy had the audacity to leave me hanging after just 1 round? What kind of partner in crime behavior was this?" Liam stared at me, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "What right do you have to mind? You're just a partner, not my girlfriend. You're not confusing things, are you?" I stared at him, wide-eyed. Of course not. As if I'd ever date someone who couldn't even measure up to my standards, the other succubi would laugh me out of town. I wasn't even finished speaking when he interrupted me. "Good. We grew up together, Liv. I only see you as family. If I dated you, it'd be like dating my right hand. You get what I mean, right? Though, to be fair, you are gorgeous and have a great body." His tone shifted. "But don't worry. Even if I start dating Belle, I won't leave you hanging." Was he seriously suggesting we continue this arrangement while he dated someone else? Where did he get this confidence from? With his mediocre performance, trying to juggle 2 women would only leave me starving. I quickly declined. I don't need your help. Focus on Belle. Let's just be normal friends from now on. Truthfully, I'd been wanting to end things with Liam for a while. He just wasn't cutting it for me anymore. But out of respect for our childhood bond, I hadn't brought it up. Besides, finding a clean and reliable partner in this day and age wasn't exactly easy, so I'd kept things going until now. Now that Liam wanted a relationship, I could finally breathe a sigh of relief. But he seemed to misinterpret my words. Playing hard to get, are we? Liv, that doesn't suit you. Have you forgotten how clingy you are with me? Don't throw a tantrum. I don't have time to deal with you right now. Just see yourself out later. My roommate's about to finish class. And remember, don't call me today. Belle's not like you. She's pure and innocent. I don't want her getting the wrong idea. With that, Liam dashed out the door like he couldn't wait to leave. Ugh. What's wrong with you? The only reason I kept coming back to Liam was because I always left hungry after cooking with him. I'd even suggested buying some tools to spice things up, but Liam got all defensive. Tools? Are you saying I'm not enough for you after all this time? Out of respect for his ego and our history, I didn't push the matter. Who would have guessed that the same guy who once swore he'd marry me would turn out like this in college? And now he wanted to two-time me? Muttering curses under my breath, I grabbed my phone and ordered some cooking tools online. Everything was a mess, and there was no way I could leave the house like this without addressing the situation myself. Looks like I'd have to rely on my own hands for now. After just a few minutes, there was movement at the door. I was a bit confused. Was the delivery guy really that fast? I slipped on a strappy nightgown, preparing to answer the door. To my surprise, the door opened from the outside. A long leg wrapped in gray sweatpants stepped in. Above that was a clean white t-shirt and a face as cold as ice. It wasn't the delivery guy, but Liam's roommate, Ethan. He looked at me expressionlessly, as if I owed him money. I'd been to Liam's place so many times, and this Ethan had never been friendly toward me. I wasn't one to warm up to someone who gave me the cold shoulder, so I didn't even bother greeting him and was about to return to the bedroom. Just as I was turning away, the comments appeared again. The second male lead, seeing the heroine in a strappy nightgown, his head must be steaming, yet he's forcing himself to look expressionless. The socially awkward puppy has come to life. Liv, why don't you look at the second male lead? Every time he hears you cooking with your buddy, he has to take cold showers. Poor thing. Last time when the second male lead found your hair tie in the bathroom, he immediately became so obsessed that he did it 7 times, almost breaking the hair tie. The second male lead has been obsessed, but just silently watching the heroine. After the heroine failed to win back her buddy and left dejectedly, he fell into depression. My footsteps froze. The comments suggested that Ethan, who always had a sour face when seeing me, was secretly in love with me? And 7 times. Seeing these words, I swallowed hard, staring at Ethan with bright eyes. Handsome face, long legs, just wondering about the size down there. I leaned against the bedroom doorframe and gave him a teasing smile. Ethan, do you like my nightgown? Ethan turned his head away, his voice cold, too revealing. Oh, is that so? My gaze fell on his clenched fists. Wow, the veins were practically popping out. I swayed my hips as I took a few steps forward. Ethan's eyes flashed with shock, and he froze in place. I only stopped when my nose was nearly touching Ethan's chin. I could hear the drumming heartbeat from the body in front of me. Comments flashed before my eyes. What's happening? Why is the heroine suddenly seducing the second male lead? Is she trying to use him to make her buddy jealous? Oh my God, the heroine just smiled at the second male lead, and little Junior is already showing signs of rising. Ah, the heroine's body is pressed against the second male lead, so big, so soft. Little Junior isn't just rising, he's about to launch. I look down. I don't know if it's the gray color making it look bigger, but the size was truly impressive. I raised my head with satisfaction and asked, "Ethan, want to cook?" A touch of passionate crimson crept to the corners of Ethan's eyes, his voice becoming as rough as sand. "Don't do this, you're Liam's girlfriend." This was the first time I'd heard Ethan speak at such close range. That deep voice was absolutely electrifying. I really wanted to hear him moan with that voice. I became even more excited than before, a dampness spreading downward. I could barely contain myself. Fortunately, my succubus form wasn't something delicate like a rabbit or cat, so I could still maintain control. Otherwise, what if I scared Ethan away? But correspondingly, my succubus form had stronger desires and was quite dominant in these matters. Is this really the pathetic heroine? She's so brave, I like her direct approach. The heroine is being disgusting now. Just because she was rejected, she's finding any man to pick up the pieces? Don't be so misogynistic. The male lead can date Belle, but the heroine has to remain chaste? Second male lead, stop pretending. Once this opportunity passes, you won't get another. Even if the heroine is just using you, you're not losing out. Heroine, the way to deal with a stubborn puppy is to use forceful love. I thought the comments made sense, so I grabbed Ethan's collar. With a turn, I pressed him onto the sofa. Ethan's body was even hotter than mine. I couldn't help but rub my softness against his abs a few times. Liam and I had a fight. I was never really his girlfriend. Right now, I only want you. Ethan's head tilted back slightly, the Adam's apple on his pale neck bobbing continuously. I extended my tongue and lightly licked it. Ethan immediately let out a suppressed moan. Fighting back my desire, I whispered enticingly, "Be good, take off your shirt." Though conflicted in his eyes, Ethan's body obediently removed the white t-shirt. My gaze traced from his neck to his collarbone, then lower. Both sides were pink. Very clean. I was completely satisfied and rewarded him by biting his lip. Ethan let out a muffled groan. His kissing technique was truly novice, he only knew how to nibble. I used my tongue to part his teeth, invading his territory, making wet sounds. I pulled his hand and placed it at the edge of my nightgown. The burning palm made me shudder. Ah, the heroine knows what she's doing. I love it. Are you two done making out? Get on with it already. My subscription is about to expire. The second male lead is holding back so hard, probably afraid his addiction will scare Liv off, right? Or maybe he suspects Liv is just using him as a tool, which is why he hasn't taken the next step. After all, Liv has never treated him kindly. I rubbed my thighs impatiently, mumbling a command. "Ethan, help me." Ethan's eyes were brimming with unshed tears from my kiss, his fingers slowly inching upward. Just then, the apartment door creaked open, accompanied by the sound of footsteps. Crap. I got so caught up in the moment I forgot to lock the door. Could it be Liam? This is going to be awkward. Ethan snapped back to his senses, his body reacting faster than his mind. He grabbed a nearby t-shirt to cover my legs and swiftly flipped over, shielding me behind him. Hello, your delivery is here." The delivery guy stood at the door, stuttering as Ethan's sharp, defensive glare pinned him in place. Without saying a word, Ethan snatched the delivery bag and slammed the door shut. I tilted my head to look at him. Why was he suddenly so moody? It was as if he almost broke the poor delivery guy's nose. That delivery guy really showed up at the worst time. You could see Ethan's clarity of mind returning, haha. The vibe was totally ruined, I was ready for the next scene, setting the mood again. Easy. I'm a succubus, after all. I lounged back on the sofa lazily and said to Ethan, open the bag and take out what's inside. Ethan's fingers trembled slightly as he opened the delivery bag, pulling out an elegantly wrapped set of kitchen tools. He froze for a moment, lowering his head with a complicated expression. Huh? Wouldn't a normal guy get more excited seeing something like this? Why did Ethan look so upset? His bangs, damp with sweat from earlier, clung to his forehead. Now, with his head hanging low, he looked like a drenched puppy caught in the rain. Liam just left not long ago, right? This was meant for the two of you, wasn't it? Oh, so that's what he thought. I shifted my posture and crooked a finger at him. I told you, I'm not Liam's girlfriend. Come here, you stubborn little puppy. Help me out. I can't take it anymore. I was at my limit, my voice dripping with seduction. At this moment, no one could resist me. Ethan thought the kitchen tools were for Liv and Buddy. Poor guy got his feelings hurt so bad. Liv's posture, though. If I'm not mistaken, she's got nothing on under that nightgown, right? Who can relate? When she crooked her finger, I instinctively took a few steps forward myself. Too tempting. Ethan, shirtless, with broad shoulders and a trim waist, was holding a pink kitchen tool in his hand. The whole scene was absurdly suggestive. He didn't refuse me this time. Step by step, he walked over and wrapped me in his arms. Using the kissing techniques I'd just taught him, he took the lead, stealing every ounce of my breath. The brief lack of oxygen only heightened my excitement, leaving my mind blank and driven purely by instinct. I trembled as I murmured, Ethan. I want more. Ethan's eyes were red, sweat from his forehead dripping onto my lips. He was clearly struggling to hold himself back. I whispered, why? Ethan's voice was hoarse and strained. I'm not normal. I don't want to scare you. The second male lead has an addiction. Once he crosses the line, Liv probably won't be able to get out of bed for a whole day and night. Oh my gosh, one whole day and night? Liv might need to be hospitalized. What a pure and self-conscious puppy. He'd rather hold himself back than risk hurting Liv even a little. I'm a succubus. Even if we went at it for a whole day and night, I wouldn't get hurt. Ethan, he really seems to care for me. So, should I reveal my true succubus form to him? I hesitated. What normal guy would be okay with getting intimate with a non-human? Ethan looked at me earnestly, trying hard to rein in his overwhelming desires. Even though I don't know why you suddenly started approaching me, I won't. The rest of his sentence trailed off into a soft murmur. Ethan, I didn't catch that. The next moment, I couldn't think about anything else. By the time night fell, I was completely satisfied, lying there in pure bliss. It had been so long since I'd felt this full. So good. Too bad this stubborn puppy, no matter how much I assured him I wouldn't get hurt, still refused to go all the way. Looking at Ethan, who seemed on the verge of bursting, I sighed. I grabbed my discarded nightgown and tossed it onto his head. You idiot. Go deal with it in the bathroom. Ethan held my nightgown in both hands as if it were some precious treasure. He stayed in the bathroom for an hour. When he came out, his face was full of guilt. I'm sorry. I ruined your nightgown. How much do I owe you? I chuckled and nodded. Sure, buy me a new one then. Make it something with less fabric, a brighter color, preferably lace. As I spoke, Ethan's breathing grew heavier and heavier. Liv, stop teasing already. Ethan just barely cooled off, and now he's all riled up again. A true simp's paradise buddy almost sparked a fire just now. No wonder the nightgown didn't survive. Who paid a couple of bucks for premium membership here? And they don't even blur out anything? Liv and Buddy should just get together already. I'm begging you, I want to see the real deal. Poor Ethan, always the awkward but kind puppy, silently crushing on Liv from start to finish. Now that the plot's changed, I hope Buddy gets a better ending too. I felt a twinge of guilt. He had spent so much energy earlier, shouldn't I make it up to him? Ethan, how about I treat you to dinner? I had my eye on the most popular Cajun restaurant near campus. Ethan said he needed to cool off with a cold shower and told me to go ahead and order first. On the way past one of the private dining rooms, I unexpectedly spotted Liam eating there. Someone asked him, "Hey, Liam, rumor has it you had a date with Belle today. Why didn't you bring her over to introduce her to us?" Curious, I stopped in my tracks. Liam chuckled. Her family's pretty strict. Once it gets dark, she has to head back to her dorm. We've got plans to meet again tomorrow, though. The group erupted in banter. Oh, tomorrow, huh? Does that mean you're finally gonna seal the deal? Belle's so sweet and innocent just for show, not for fun. Liam, you must have been pretty frustrated today, huh? Looking smug, Liam replied, "Thank God I'm smart." Before my date with Belle, I hooked up with my old childhood friend to blow off some steam. Otherwise, no way I'd have let Belle leave so easily tonight. Ha ha ha. The laughter of the crude group nearly shook the roof. One guy sighed enviously. Man, Liam's living the dream. Pure. Belle as the girlfriend, and his fiery childhood friend as the, well, you know. Why can't I catch a break like that? Liam smacked the guy on the shoulder. You've gotta have the skills, my friend. You have no idea how wild my childhood buddy is. Only I can handle her. The live chat feed was full of disdain. How does a scumbag like this even qualify as a male lead? Gross. Guys hanging out together, it's either bragging or objectifying women, from 18 to 80. No exceptions. Liv, slap him please. Ugh, female leads in these redemption love stories are always such pushovers. Just watch, she's about to run away in tears. I raised an eyebrow at the chat. Run away in tears? Clearly, they didn't know me very well. I kicked the dining room door open, and every pair of eyes turned to me in an instant. Liam, for someone so small where it counts, you sure have a big mouth, I said with a smirk. Handle me? With what? 5 inches or 3 minutes? The room fell dead silent. Expressions ranged from shock to amusement. The chat exploded. Liv's sarcasm game is on point. Please start a masterclass. Wait, I've never seen a female lead roast the male lead like this. How did the plot derail this much? Derail? This is the best plot twist ever. You all complain when the female lead doesn't fight back, and now that she does, you call it a derailment? Here's the pen, why don't you write it? Liam's face turned beet red at my jab. Someone in the room couldn't hold back a snicker. Enraged, Liam slammed his hand on the table and stood up. Olivia, can you stop being so unreasonable for once? I told you not to call me, and now you're stalking me? You even followed me here? Good thing Belle already went back to her dorm. Otherwise, were you planning to fight her for me? But you're just a hookup. Don't you think you're overstepping your bounds? I couldn't help but laugh at his audacity. Where did he get the confidence to say such things? I looked at Liam's contorted expression and wondered how I'd ever found him attractive. What was I even thinking back then, picking him as my hookup partner? Don't flatter yourself, Liam. I've already moved on to someone else, I said, my tone light but cutting. He's way better than you. Honestly, once you've had a real meal, you realize just how bad the junk food really was. Liam gritted his teeth. Stop pretending. You're just trying to piss me off, aren't you? Fine, then. Tell me, who is it? I answered calmly, Ethan. A guy in the corner piped up timidly, that name sounds familiar. Another replied, isn't that Liam's roommate from his off-campus apartment? Whoa, so Liam's roommate stole his girl? Savage Liam, instead of getting angrier, suddenly laughed and plopped back into his chair. Don't listen to her nonsense. My aloof roommate can't stand her. He doesn't even say hi when he sees her. Looking smug again, he added, Olivia, did you even look in a mirror before you came here? Your eyes are swollen, and your voice is hoarse. Have you been crying since I left? Don't tell me you're trying to deny you're upset over me. Swollen eyes? I instinctively touched my eyelids. They did feel a bit puffy. Damn Ethan. He'd left me so satisfied earlier that I'd teared up uncontrollably. Liam misinterpreted my reaction. His tone softened a little. And now you're crying again. Fine, go home first. I'll come find you after I finish eating. Be good, okay? Save your tears for my bed tonight, sweetheart. The room burst into laughter. Damn, Liam's got game, even the spiciest chili peppers end up tamed, haha. Looks like Liam's in for another wild night. I was about to snap back when the live chat exploded with comments. What a typical self-absorbed guy. He's so unbearable, I can't even stand to look at him. Honestly, I'm starting to believe the saying that insecurity is a man's best dowry. Does he seriously not notice the heroine's swollen lips? After all, they've been kissing all afternoon. I really want to see Ethan get slapped in the face. When is the moody puppy going to show up? Take a closer look, everyone. Liam is already here, and he even heard Ethan telling Liv to wait for him. Ah, Liv, please comfort him already. The overthinking puppy is about to break. Ethan's already here? I turned around. He was standing not far behind me, his face expressionless, his deep eyes locked on me. My heart skipped a beat. Did Ethan overhear Liam's nonsense? Was he misunderstanding me again? I haven't even officially won him over yet. I shifted to the side, and Liam finally noticed Ethan. Speak of the devil, Ethan, who did you come with? Why don't you join us for some food? Liam said, raising his voice without a hint of unease. I clenched my teeth and extended my hand. Ethan, come here. Liam didn't seem fazed at all. Olivia, give it up already. Ethan never interacts with girls. There's no way he would. Before Liam could finish, Ethan took my hand. I smiled faintly and yanked him forward. In an instant, our lips met. Ethan froze for only a second before his other hand instinctively wrapped around my waist, deepening the kiss. The room fell completely silent. That forceful kiss was so satisfying. Liv has grown a backbone and a pair of hands, too. This couple is simply too good. The puppy might be heartbroken, but he can't let his owner down. Cold-faced laundry doing literature has officially entered the female lead genre. Do you think Liv kissed him just to make Ethan jealous? Poor Liam's just a tool at this point. Come on, no woman would pick Liam over Ethan. It's not even a contest. Suddenly, there was a loud bang as Liam flipped the table. Dishes and cutlery crashed to the floor, shattering everywhere. Ethan immediately turned his back to shield me from the flying food and debris. Liam was breathing heavily, like an enraged bull. Olivia, you've successfully made me jealous. You're playing with fire. He stormed over and reached out to grab me, but Ethan shoved him back. Liam stumbled a few steps before hitting the wall, his face twisting with anger. Ethan, where the hell do you get the nerve to lay a hand on my woman? Ethan's voice was icy. Liv already told you, she's not your girlfriend. She only wants me. Oh, she only wants me. The puppy's head is practically in the clouds right now. This love triangle and Ethan being put in his place so satisfying. He's not a moody puppy anymore. Ethan's a guard dog now, ready to bite anyone who touches Liv. Liam still didn't get it. Liv and I just had a fight. You're taking advantage of the situation. I pressed down on Ethan's fist, which was bulging with veins, and looked at Liam with amusement. You're just a former hookup. What gives you the right to say something like that? Don't tell me you actually thought we were a couple. Bullseye. Liam's face turned pale as he recalled the things he'd said to me. In the hallway, I could hear the restaurant staff. Boss, it's the room up ahead. Someone drank too much and flipped the table. Call the police right away. Liam and his group ended up getting detained by the restaurant owner. Taking advantage of the chaos, Ethan and I slipped out. After wandering around the streets for a while, I decided to take Ethan back to my off-campus apartment and order takeout. I lived alone in a one-bedroom apartment, which was quite convenient. It was Ethan's first time at my place, and he was so nervous he didn't know what to do with his hands and feet. He wasn't picky about food, so I ordered what I felt like eating: a large serving of garlic butter shrimp, tomato scrambled eggs, spicy tripe salad, and 2 bowls of rice. Just as I was about to confirm the order, Ethan stopped me and pointed at my phone screen. You forgot to add a note to leave out the scallions. I stared at him, surprised. How do you know I don't eat raw scallions? Ethan's face turned bright red, and he started stammering. I looked up and, unsurprisingly, saw the live chat. Let me explain, it's because he keeps all the receipts from the takeout you order at Buddy's place. Ethan knows you don't eat raw scallions, don't like cooked garlic, take your bubble tea with 30 sugar, and prefer oat milk in your coffee. The comments kept flooding in, each revealing more. So, Ethan had been quietly paying attention to me all along, never interfering. In the original story, his existence was only meant to create a tear-jerking unrequited love subplot for the readers, highlighting Liam's awfulness and my blindness. This silly puppy. I pinched Ethan's cheek. Fine, don't say it if you don't want to. Not that it mattered, I already knew. The takeout arrived quickly. After washing his hands, Ethan focused entirely on peeling shrimp for me, not eating a single bite himself. Once I was full, he silently took my chopsticks and polished off the remaining food without hesitation. Using the same chopsticks, I'm not saying anything, but I'm grinning ear to ear. Ethan's hands were trembling when he took Liv's chopsticks, afraid she might refuse. Even though they've already kissed, these subtle, secretive moments are still so heart-fluttering. Stop pulling at me. Author, I want to see some action, fast-paced action. After dinner, I headed to the bathroom to rinse my mouth, only to notice a lavender lace piece of lingerie hanging clean and fresh on the rack. I froze for a moment, realizing something. Walking out with the hanger in hand, I asked, Ethan, did you wash this for me? Ethan shot up from the couch, flustered and at a loss for words. I wasn't doing anything bad, I just, did it without thinking. I cut him off. When I stayed at Liam's place, you were the one who washed my stuff, weren't you? Whenever I spent the night at Liam's, the next day, my undergarments would always be freshly washed and neatly hung on the balcony. I used to think it was Liam's doing, and for a while, I even thought, well, for someone so uptight, he does have a caring side. Turns out, it was Ethan all along. Now that I had caught him red-handed, he looked utterly panicked. I'm sorry. If it makes you uncomfortable, I promise I won't touch them again. I placed the hanger aside and took a few steps closer to him, pressing my index finger against his lips. Today, I'm wearing a thong. Want to take it off and wash it yourself? Little Ethan was already nodding, but Big Ethan took a step back, beads of sweat forming on his forehead as he struggled to restrain himself. The task of making Liam jealous is already done. You don't need to, he hesitated, you don't need to keep. Keep what? I pressed. He gritted his teeth. You don't need to keep seducing me. I advanced on him again, backing him into the bedroom. Who assigned you some ridiculous mission? I want to seduce you. What are you going to do about it? The livestream chat was going wild. Come on, second male lead, are you even a man? Investigate her background, do it now, the male lead is so oily and over the top. Ethan, you're way better than him, have some confidence, I'm on auto-renewal here whether it's love or hate, you two better get to it now. Ignoring the chaotic messages, I felt a sudden wave of hunger, licking my lips as I looked at Ethan. I have a secret to tell you, Ethan. I'm not entirely human, I'm a succubus. That means no matter what you do to me, no matter how rough, I won't get hurt. It'll only excite me. If you're not scared, I can even show you my tail. But right now, I'd rather see yours. Ethan tried to resist. I softly tapped his cheek and leaned closer to his ear. Good boy, be obedient. Ethan froze, and in the next moment, his reason was consumed by desire. What's with the fogged-up car windows? I can't see anything. Wait, the female lead is a succubus? When did her storyline turn into this? No wonder the plot has been so different lately. Turn on the lights, I want to see her tail, a badass succubus heroine versus a repressed, addicted male lead? This ship is epic. Author, make Ethan the main lead already. I ignored the comments and focused on enjoying my meal. What I didn't expect was, unleashed Ethan was a force to be reckoned with. That meal lasted an entire day and night, and even then, he wasn't satisfied. Ethan eventually moved into my apartment. From that point on, I lived a life of pure indulgence, meals prepared, clothes washed, and even baths drawn for me. Ethan handled everything, even drying my hair afterward. The only downside? It all took a bit too long. Life was so blissful that I nearly forgot about Buddy, my childhood friend. I saw Buddy again at the student council's end of semester dinner. The livestream chat reappeared instantly. The male lead and Belle are here too. Ugh, I hate love triangle drama. Why is Liv even here? She should just stay home with Ethan and keep doing their thing. Hasn't she moved on from Buddy yet? The male lead can come, but the female lead can't. She's the vice president of the social committee. For crying out loud, I was momentarily caught off guard. I couldn't believe Buddy and Belle had been dating for this long. Belle must really be naive not to have realized what a jerk her boyfriend is. The moment I arrived, Buddy turned his head, as if sensing my presence. I had no interest in acknowledging him. I turned and headed elsewhere, but in my distraction, I accidentally bumped into a girl in a white dress. She stumbled a few steps, the drink in her hand spilling onto the floor and splashing a few drops on her dress. I quickly apologized. I'm so sorry, are you all right? The girl steadied herself and smiled at me. It's okay. I was standing too close to you. Let's exchange numbers. You can get the dress dry cleaned, and I'll cover the cost. That's not necessary. Liv, don't be so polite to her, the chat exploded. That's the scheming Belle who stole your man. Belle probably bumped into Liv on purpose. Classic manipulative move. Or maybe Liv bumped into her on purpose. Ever think about that? Don't be fooled by the white dress, she's not innocent. But this is the moment of truth. Whoever Buddy sides with wins. So this was Belle, aka Sophia? Suddenly, I was shoved aside. Buddy had appeared out of nowhere, pulling Belle into his arms like she was a precious gem. Sophia, are you hurt? He asked tenderly. Liam, I'm fine. Sophia's words were cut short as Liam, like a man possessed, roared at me, Olivia, if you've got a problem, take it out on me. Why are you bullying my girlfriend? Everyone nearby turned to look. I was stunned. When did I ever bully her? It was just an accidental bump. Liam, as if incapable of understanding human speech, continued his one-man show. Anyone with eyes could see it. You shoved Sophia when I wasn't around and poured an entire drink on her. I get it. I haven't contacted you in ages, and you're upset. But the past is the past. There's no point holding on to it. Sophia was tugging at Liam's sleeve, urging him to stop talking. But when she heard his last sentence, she looked at me, then back at Liam. You too. Liam gazed back at her with an expression of profound devotion. Sophia, don't worry. No one can take me away from you. I couldn't hold it any longer. Liam, if you're sick, go see a doctor. If you're broke, go beg for crowdfunding on the streets, but stop ranting like a lunatic here. You're just a college kid with decent features and a family that's well off, not to mention a self-absorbed jerk who wants to have it both ways with women. Do you think you're some billionaire heartthrob? Why on earth would I want you back? To annoy myself at home? The entire scene went dead silent as I finished my tirade. Sophia wriggled out of Liam's arms, staring at me with wide eyes. Olivia, how did you know he was two-timing, and what's this self-absorbed jerk thing? Oh dear. Not only is Sophia innocent, but she also seems a little clueless. I looked at her sympathetically. What do you think? You told me I was your first love. You even sweet-talked me into giving myself to you, you jerk. We're done. Smack. Sophia landed a slap square on Liam's face before bursting into tears and running off. Finally, a storyline where two amazing women aren't fighting over a loser. This is so satisfying. Sophia is the perfect example of a pure and clear-headed supporting character, innocent yet strong. Exactly why fight over a guy? Is he dipped in gold or something? Is this guy seriously delusional? The heroine has clearly moved on, yet he still thinks she's pining for him. Oh, trust me, I've seen this before. For narcissistic men, any reaction from you is just confirmation of how much they think you want them. Ah, that explains it. No wonder Liam kept thinking I was trying to get his attention, no matter how hard I rejected him. Whatever. I should just head home. I kind of miss Ethan. I wonder what delicious meal he's whipped up at home this time. But then again, nothing he cooks could compare to how delightful he is himself. Just the thought of him sent a warm sensation through my stomach. The crowd of onlookers was growing, so I quickly slipped away. I hadn't expected Liam to follow me. He chased me down the hallway and grabbed my wrist. Sophia broke up with me because of you, Olivia. Are you happy now? Satisfied? I was on the verge of losing it. Who wrote this story anyway? Why would they create such a deranged male lead? And why make someone as amazing as Ethan the tragic second lead doomed to a sad ending? I'm going to send that author a strongly worded letter. Let go of me, get lost. Liam tightened his grip on my wrist. With Ethan not around today, who else are you going to use as your shield? Out of the kindness of our childhood bond, I'll let this slide. I've given it some thought. I think I might still love you. Before he could finish his sentence, Liam went flying through the air. With a loud thud, he landed on the floor, clutching his head and groaning in pain. I exhaled sharply, brushing imaginary dust off my hands. Olivia doesn't need a shield, ever. And have you forgotten? I've been practicing Brazilian jiu-jitsu since I was a kid. Rain had started falling outside. Ethan stood there under a black umbrella, silently watching me. It's raining. I came to pick you up, he said, tilting the umbrella toward me. I slipped my arm into his. Have you been waiting long? Why didn't you come inside? You missed quite the drama. Ethan pressed his lips together. I didn't want to make things harder for you to explain. Liam and I had grown up as childhood friends, practically inseparable. Love from childhood doesn't always lead to love for life, I thought to myself. Look at this book's description: a sassy succubus heroine versus a stubborn, love-struck male lead. The genre has changed from angsty romance to sweet indulgence. The author actually listened to feedback. This is how it should be. Life's already hard enough. Can't we just enjoy some satisfying fiction? Since the author is so responsive, can we get the heroine training her puppy? With chains, collars, candles, and all that fun stuff. Author, take notes. But seriously, it's the last chapter, and we still haven't seen the heroine's tail. What does her true form even look like? Later that night, in bed. For the first time, I revealed my succubus form in front of Ethan. My bare, snow-white body. Two curved, patterned horns sprouting from the top of my head. A long, slender, and hardened scorpion tail shimmered with a dark purple metallic gleam, exuding a sharp, chilling aura. I lifted my head. There was nothing in the air above me. Take this as my thanks. Goodbye. Ethan lay on his back, his breath heavy and labored as he moved with the rhythm of my body. What did you just say? I smiled faintly, pressing a hand against his firm abs. With the tip of my tail, I lifted his chin, exposing his vulnerable Adam's apple. I said, I like you. There was no fear in Ethan's eyes, no trepidation towards my inhuman form. Instead, his gaze brimmed with infatuation. Like me, why? I leaned down, placing a kiss on his chest. A succubus doesn't need a reason to like someone. It's attraction, an instinct, a desire that surges the moment I set eyes on you. As long as you can feed me, I'll like you forever. Do you understand? The next second, Ethan showed me with his actions that he understood. Don't rush. From body to soul. Love always ascends step by step.